Mass Transit Service, moving forward.
Wake up, y'all. Come on, have a great day. Ooh.
Good morning, Wilmington. In honor of HBCU week, Ivan decided to give me the keys to the car, baby. So let's go for a ride. So once again, for those that don't know, my name is Meeshach Stennett, AKA Radio Shack. I'm an influencer, entrepreneur, and brand ambassador. But on the other hand, I'm also, like you heard, Radio Shack, BX Rupper, and Del State Stepper. Not sure which one we're gonna get today, because already in the background, I got a couple people in here that's gonna make this a super exciting show. So, we already know the city of Wilmington is in the midst of a cultural renaissance like we've never experienced. In the past few weeks, I've hosted impactful events like the Dirty Popcorn Film Festival at the Delaware Art Museum at Glochella on Market Street in front of the Queen. In the past, events like these were few and far in between in our city, but baby, things are changing. So I've brought some phenomenal guests to the plaza today to discuss HBCU Week and Black Restaurant Week in more detail. But before we get to our guests, I'd like to highlight some specific experiences that you don't want to miss. Okay, so first off, and this isn't scrolling, but I guess I'm just gonna roll some events that I need to name. So like I said, it's a different energy today. Once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. One thing that I did not mention, that I am the brand ambassador for the Delaware State University College of Business. It is HBCU week, it is Black Restaurant Week. This is one of the best weeks in the state of Delaware that we currently have annually. All right, but some upcoming events, like for example, for anyone who went to yesterday's 5K run at Rockford Park, it was an amazing experience. It was powered by DSU. Sunday, they started with the prayer breakfast. And today, as we speak right now, is the middle school college tour, which is actually taking place down at Delaware State University, just introducing these students at a young age to the whole Black college experience. Tomorrow is going to be the happy hour at Deco, immediately followed by the concert, Fabulous, Monica, right here at the Queen. All right, so if you haven't gotten your tickets already, please go to the website, hbcuweek.org. And then after that, on Thursday morning, I will be a panelist on the My HBCU Experience panel discussion taking place at Howard High. So shout out to all my Howard High students. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys on Thursday about the benefits of going to a HBCU, specifically, hopefully, Delaware State University. Then Thursday night, we do have the social conversation with Ashley Cooper, who is the founder and CEO of HBCU Week, as long as she's being actually joined by Ben Crump, the attorney, will be right here at Wilmington Public Library this Thursday. And then Friday is the comedy show. Saturday is the block party, and then Sunday is the Battle of the Bands. And that's going down Frawley Stadium. I can't skip the block party, which is taking place at Deco, once again in front of Deco. And then Sunday is the big Battle of the Bands. Anyone who has been to any of these events already know that the energy that it brings to the city, and even more importantly, the impact that it has, right? In 2022 alone, HBCU Week offered over $23 million worth of scholarships for high school students to attend historically Black colleges and universities. That's super big. Salute to everything that you're doing. Once again, I'm appreciative to be a part of it, and can't go without mentioning that this year at the College Fair, for the first time ever, DETV will be live streaming. That's right. Me and your boy Big Ive will be at the College Fair, as well as 8,500 other people looking for college scholarships. So what we're going to be doing an NBA draft style, talking to students that might have just won a scholarship, parents of students, corporate partners, organizers, just everybody. We're going to capture that energy because this is such an impactful event, especially the fact that we're getting ready to lead off and they're going to go down to Atlanta next, that we want to make sure everyone who isn't in attendance, if you aren't one of those lucky 8,500 people, that you experience what we're experiencing. So once again, you can go to hbcuweek.org to get all of your information. So some other events, oh, wait a minute, I almost forgot because we have a special guest on, right? So I didn't mention my guest yet, but one of my guests is gonna be City Council President, Mr. Trippi Congo. And one of the things that we're gonna talk about is the event that we're doing this Sunday, sold out Sunday, going down at the Legacy Center. Just a good energy, good vibration for HBCU alumni to come together, sing, dance, enjoy life. So we will talk about that more later on in the program. Okay, couple things I do have to mention is Saturday, October 7th is the All Hip Hop Cultural Summit taking place at the Delaware Art Museum. For those that do not know, allhiphop.com celebrated 25 years in the hip hop industry. They've been a pivotal part of hip hop and everything that it stands for. So salute to Grouchy Greg, Chuck Creekmer, and the rest of the team. They are going to be celebrating 50 years of hip hop at the Delaware Art Museum. Shout out to my man Iz and everyone else that's putting that on. It's gonna be a great event, and guess what? Yours truly will be hosting. You already know, as much as I love the city of Wilmington, I am a Bronx native, so hip hop is my core, so I'm loving the fact that I'm gonna be able to be a part of this great event. The following week, Friday, October the 13th, is Rebirth Live, and that is taking place at the Theater N right here in Wilmington, and that is being hosted by, once again, me. Listen, I wanna thank everybody for the opportunities that are being presented. There's just such a great energy going on right now in the city of Wilmington, and any way that I could play a part, I greatly appreciate it. So once again, it's going down, Rebirth Live. Shout out to Shea Marriott and Eli, and that's gonna be a panel discussion live with music, live music by DJ Tim Dog, free food, well, not free because you gotta pay to get in, I'll take that back, I don't wanna start any problems. Food, drinks, and it's just gonna be a discussion on love, relationships, and just mental health, which is something that we need to focus more in our own community. After that, Thursday, October the 26th, I will be the Master of Ceremonies for the True Access Capital 2023 annual meeting. For those that don't know, True Access Capital, who's based here in Wilmington, Delaware, has provided millions of dollars of fundings to minority business owners in the city and state. So I look forward to that opportunity. There's going to be a lot of great businesses. Thank you to a really good guy, Van Hampton, and everyone else for making that possible. So like I said, man, and that is just some of the things that we have going on. The city is popping, it's live, it's vibrant, and we need to make sure that we continue to support these movements so that we can keep the city of Wilmington going. So, with that being said, I think it's time for us to take our first break. And when we come back, we're gonna come back with our first guest of the morning, Mr. Dawayne Sims, the treasurer for the city of Wilmington. So stay tuned, tell a friend and tell a friend. We're right here, Good Morning Wilmington.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Still searching for cheap gas prices? Dump the pump and ride DART. You can DART to your destination for only $4 all day. Let DART do the driving while you enjoy our free Wi-Fi available on all buses statewide. While scrolling through your favorite apps, don't forget to download DART's free transit app for real-time bus information and enjoy the convenience of contactless fare payment through DART Pass. So what are you waiting for? Dump the pump and try transit. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
Government doesn't make a move without an agenda, some type of plan. The problem is we haven't been on the agenda. Sometimes we're overlooked. Sometimes our interests aren't the interest of those in power. I'm your host, Kerwin Gaines, on DETV's new show, The Agenda. We're going to do our best to ensure that you, Delawareans, are knowledgeable about what's going on in the Assembly, federal government, local government, it doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to ensure that folks that make the agenda on a daily basis have to answer for it. Let them explain what they're doing. If it affects you, it's on the agenda.
Welcome back to Good Morning Wilmington right here in the plaza. And before we go any further, let me clear something up. First, I mentioned earlier Ashley Cooper. Big shout out to Ashley Cooper with Droneversity. I met you several weeks ago down at Delaware State University College of Business when you gave the presentation to the students. We absolutely loved it. But I mentioned you in error earlier. I want to give a big shout out to Miss Ashley Christopher, the founder and CEO of HBCU Week, AKA Dopra, who has all of this great things going on in the city of Wilmington. So my bad on that earlier. Listen, it's my first time doing this by myself, so we just going. It's a good energy, a good vibe. And speaking of good energies and good vibes, this next guest right here, Mr. Dawayne Sims. For those that don't know, that smooth guy that you might see at Oath 84 enjoying happy hour or catching a vibe at Eat Clean. He's not just one of the city's finest, he's also our city treasurer.
My brother.
Welcome, my brother. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Shaq. How you feeling?
I'm good. So actually bring that back.
And before we go any further,
yes.
Maybe at happy hour, sometimes at happy
possibly,
hour.
yeah.
Let's possibly.
Possibly. I mean, just supporting, right?
But so, definitely had Eat Clean breakfast this morning.
Eat Clean, all right, so shout out to them. And there's a reason, once again, it is Black Restaurant Week.
Yes.
But before we get into all of that, right, you relocated from New York City.
Indeed.
18 years ago, right?
21 now.
21
Yeah,
now. And
goes by fast.
And you want to grow your career
Yes.
and also have the ability to raise your family in a more family-friendly environment.
That's a fact.
Right?
Yeah.
Your corporate experience spans the communication industry and financial sector, where you worked for Citigroup for 14 years.
That's a fact.
Then you first served the city as a small and minority business development manager in the mayor's office.
That is correct. Mayor's Office of Economic Development. Man, can you update my LinkedIn?
Yo, I need
please?
to, man. Please, let's get this together, right? So at the end of the day, and then in 2020.
Yeah, 2020 was an interesting year, right, for everybody. Man, we were knee deep in COVID. Everything looked, felt, smelt different, and I was called to serve in a different capacity. That's what it really boils down to. You know, in life, sometimes you know how it goes, Shaq, right? We do things and we're working, we're taking care of our family, we're taking care of our community, and you don't realize that you're actually being prepared for something else. And so those 14, 15 years at Citigroup in corporate and private banking, 10 of which was in Treasury and Trade Solutions at a global bank, right? And then it came a time to run and do something different. And I was working with small minority businesses for the last 2 years, anything 5 million and under. So, you know, the businesses out here know me. You know, I can go down a list. So I'm excited about Black Restaurant Week and the guests that we have here to speak about that. But it was time to go to another level. It was another assignment placed on me, and I accepted it willingly, walked in it, and here we are. Ran a successful campaign, 27 some odd thousand people got behind the message that I was putting out. And I thank God, here I am.
And you've been doing an amazing job, brother.
I appreciate that.
And you did mention, you know, I might have mentioned you are a very close friend of mine.
Yeah,
so
30 years, man. We've been
30
down.
years, brother.
Yeah,
30 years.
that's right.
And this right here was taking place, like you said, is just meant to be.
Yeah, indeed.
And sometimes that's what makes it more special.
Yes, indeed,
right? Because
indeed.
a lot of people might choose things, but some people are chosen.
Yes, yes.
And it just seems like for this position right now, you're chosen. You're doing an amazing job. And one thing I can say, you know, from the personal standpoint, like, there's a difference. So even when I make reference to the cultural renaissance that we see in the city of Wilmington, it's also with the leadership, right? Yeah. And
it begins.
City treasurer's office, the mayor's office, there's just a change, a shift.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you. You know, that's important. Let me begin by saying it begins with change, begins with leadership, right? I don't know. I like, you know, I play football. You play football, right? It's a great movie, Remember the Titans, from back in the day, right? And there was a scene in the movie where the two players were going head to head back in the segregated, you know, Virginia South, and he says, man, attitude reflects leadership, right? And so leadership is important. And so I made some promises during 2020's campaign to leverage my education, experience, and exposure for the benefit of the city, right? And I meant that. I meant bringing every aspect of who I am as a person every day, showing up, being present, not just who I am professionally, but who I am as an individual, and bring that to the office of the treasurer. By the way, this is one of only 3 at a senior leadership level for the city, one of only 3 citywide elected offices, right? Independent offices, the mayor's office, treasurer's office, and then of course, city council, which we have our president, Trippi Congo, here today, who also, we go back, right? So some folks might, if you're looking at me right now, I don't know what camera I'm on, but you might think, you might have thought I went to Delaware State University.
Yes.
I was down there so much.
He's honorary.
Yes, I'm an honorary grad with like 2-3 degrees out of
correct.
Delaware State University, honorary. Shout out Temple Owls, shout out to Great Danes University, Albany, New York. Big up.
He couldn't pass that.
I couldn't pass that, man.
But you know what though, Dawayne, the fact that you speak on, it wasn't just because you speak to all the great things that you're doing as the treasurer in that official position, right? But you also bring a different energy with you as a treasurer.
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx, man.
Okay,
I'm
so
hip hop.
let's be clear.
1975, right? Like this, I can't help it. This is who I am.
So can you talk to what you see, how you see the current state in terms of the culture in Wilmington and where you feel it can go?
So, the past oftentimes, Meeshach, is prologue, right? So if you want to know where you're going, you got to know where you're from and where you've been. And so for me, I think it's important that I lay that as a foundation. I've been coming to the state of Delaware, as you know. My brother, my older brother, 3 years my senior, is a graduate. He's a Hornet.
Correct.
I was a young buck in high school, and candidly, and if you're a young person watching this, or maybe you have a young person in your family, forward this to them, what I'm about to say. This is a very important message. I did not have a clue about what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. I just knew I was from a good family. I knew I was from a great neighborhood, a great city, and I wanted to be something. That's all I knew. And I had no intentions of going to college, right? I was fortunate. I had great academics, and I played sports, and somebody took a shot on me, right? And every day I try to pay that forward. What am I getting at? I'm saying, at the end of the day, I found out about Delaware because my brother went to Delaware State University and was a Hornet and played football. And so when, fast forward some years later, when the time came for me to start and my own family and really become a man, I thought about Wilmington. I thought about Delaware. And I knew what it had done for my brother. I knew what it had done for he and his family. And I said I wanted to do that for my family and my community, right? Our mother, Alma Walker Sims, was a stalwart in our community. I get all my sense of public service and service from her and my father. My father was the first black elevator mechanic in New York City Housing Authority in the Bronx.
Wow. Right?
From the deep segregated South, moved up from Alabama. So we gotta know where you're from. And so I knew what I wanted to do as a man, as a father, and as a citizen. And so I felt like Wilmington was a great place to do that. So that was the precipice for getting here, right?
Yeah.
That was what brought me here. 21 years, my children, 2 girls, 21 and 16, went to school right here in Wilmington. Just up the block at the Central Branch YMCA, most folks may know, who's familiar with it, there's a daycare in there, right? My daughter, 2 years old, in that daycare. My first job was at Verizon on 39th and Washington, up the way, right? And so, for me, it's always been about Wilmington. Didn't know that I would eventually serve in this capacity, right? And try to advance the city. But the bottom line is we're going places. This city is in a unique position geographically, demographically. We have every opportunity to be anything we want to be. And this is the city you can do it in, right? I was just a guy working corporate America, Shaq.
Me and you both,
right?
Yeah.
But until we take the step, and this is seriously important, until we take the step to own our own destiny, right? To own our community's destiny, nothing's gonna happen for us. So for me, where we go as far as Wilmington is concerned is where we take it. It's where we take it. And we can take it to the greater heights than it's been ever before. And I think it takes new ideas. I think it takes a fresh perspective. And it takes real, true energy about change and transformation. That's the bottom line, man. We're not going to get new doing the same old.
That's a fact.
You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. We have to be better than we've ever been. We've got to be more creative. We have to be more committed. We have to be more connected. We have to have vision and we have to execute. And it takes fresh perspective oftentimes, a new lens to do that. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm here to do.
So earlier you mentioned something about me writing something for you. Can you write something for me?
Yeah, we'll put that down.
Please, because I could have had you.
We'll copyright that. I got you.
Oh my gosh. So listen, before I let you go,
yeah,
right?
Sure.
And once again, thank you for your time. Like,
of course.
Once I called you, you had meetings and you rearranged it. Hopefully no one's watching this, but
no,
I
it's all right.
appreciate
If they are, then they were supposed to see it.
All right, so there it goes.
On.
So what does, because now we're here, it's a big week.
It is.
Specifically for black businesses and the culture in Wilmington. What do events like HBCU Week, because you mentioned that you are an honorary Hornet.
I am.
Right? What do events like HBCU Week and Black Restaurant Week mean to you from the perspective of the treasurer and as well as you personally?
It means everything. And I cannot, like, I'm not being, it's not hyperbolic. I'm not trying to, it's not just cliche. It does. It means everything. Let's start with, again, some data, right? Because I'm in money. I mean, right now we deal with over $600 million in assets under management in the Treasurer's office. Right? So I run a $600 million banking operation. Let's be clear, right? Yeah. It means everything. Number one, let's start with some data. The city of Wilmington self-identifies as almost 70% black and brown. So when we talk about the city of Wilmington, you cannot talk about Wilmington without talking about black and brown people. Number one. If you're not, and you're starting somewhere else, you're starting off at the wrong spot. I'm not saying we can't talk about everyone. Obviously we are. Our job is to service the entire city. We are servants, we are here as stewards of the entire city, almost 72,000 people, okay? Largest city in the first state. Okay, more data. But the fact of the matter is our citizens within the Wilmington proper, identify as black and brown. So our services, if we're being servants, have to be tailored towards our life. Where else do we do that? Where else do we say, I'm going to ignore 70% of something and we're going to actually be praised or considered productive? Does not happen. All right, so that's number one. So when we talk about Black Restaurant Week, HBCU Week, like you mentioned, Dover, state capital, Delaware State University, been at it for a long time, and it's growing underneath the leadership, clearly, of Dr. Tony Allen, right? So big up Tony Allen as well. HBCU with Ashley Christopher. I remember when Ashley started out. I'll go back to 2020. We started talking about 2020. I'll go back to 2020. Okay. And I remember talking to Ashley in DETV studios, which were in a different location at that time.
I was there.
You were there, you remember?
I was there with
All right,
you that
so
day.
big up Ashley, big up Ivan,
Yes.
big up Tom Moyer, right, in Timeless Management, he was there. And things were just starting to really take form, like take shape. And I looked at Ashley and I said, you're about to take it there. You're really going to take it there and you're going to do great things. There was no Orlando. There was no Atlanta.
Disney, none of that.
Right?
Correct.
People weren't, these corporate companies weren't knocking down the doors. So what does it mean? It means everything for our city. It means everything for our citizens. It means everything for where we are now, where we've been, and most importantly, where we can take it. That's what's so important. We're talking about entrepreneurs, people with grit, grind, ingenuity, who are taking chances on themselves and investing in their city. Ashley's from Wilmington. We're Wilmingtonians. We've been here a long time.
Yes, we are. Dual citizenship.
I'm always representing the Bronx. I love my home city. But I've been here longer than I lived in the Bronx before I left to go to college.
That is correct.
All right? So these things are very real. We have children, we have families, we have people who are looking up to us. And so it's important that we put on for our small businesses, particularly our black and brown businesses who are underfunded, under-resourced, underrepresented, right? Let's talk about it. If we're not having these conversations, then we are missing the 70%. And the data shows that the more you invest in diversity, the more you invest in equity, right? The more inclusive your operations and businesses are, the more money they make, the more efficient they become, and the more respect they garner, right? So if you're running a business out here, large to small, DEI, it's not just a slogan, it's not just an acronym. We're talking about diversity, equity. Equity is the most important component of that, and inclusion. And when we do that, and we do that effectively, the world's a better place.
The world's a better place.
The world's a
and
better
the city
place.
of Wilmington is a better place with you as its treasurer.
I
my
appreciate
brother.
that.
Thank you so much for your time
It's
this
my
morning.
pleasure, Shaq, for real.
Once again, everyone give it up to my brother, Mr. Dawayne Sims. Thank you.
All right, Wilmington Live, love y'all. My brother.
So please stay tuned. That's only the beginning. Our first guest, you see the energy right here on the plaza this morning. Once we come back from this break, I'm going to bring in TAHIRA of Flux Creative, and we're going to talk all about Black Restaurant Week. So tell a friend to tell a friend. We're right here on Good Morning Wilmington.
The Delaware Mortgage Relief Program is still accepting applications. Funding is limited. Apply today. This grant program provides up to $50,000 to qualified Delaware families for eligible housing-related expenses, such as future or delinquent mortgage payments, property taxes, homeowners association fees, or water or sewage fees. Over $20 million has already been dispersed statewide. The Delaware Mortgage Relief Program. Visit online or call 888-303-4324 for more information.
A new beginning, a second chance. Call it what you want, but this is what never giving up looks like. This is what finding someone who believes in you looks like. I thought Goodwill was just a store until a friend told me about Train to Gain through Goodwill's Job Resource Center. After 5 years away, I had a lot of self-doubt and fear about my future. But Goodwill had my back, and today, I love where I work. They matched me with an employer who believes in second chances, and now I have a new start thanks to Goodwill.
To learn more about Goodwill's career development opportunities, call today.
Still searching for cheap gas prices? Dump the pump and ride DART. You can DART to your destination for only $4 all day. Let DART do the driving while you enjoy our free Wi-Fi available on all buses statewide. While scrolling through your favorite apps, don't forget to download DART's free transit app for real-time bus information and enjoy the convenience of contactless fare payment through DART Pass. So what are you waiting for? Dump the pump and try transit. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
You know the why for state-of-the-art fitness centers and amazing pools.
But we're so much more.
The why is where Delawareans improve their health.
Where our communities get stronger.
Where everyone belongs.
It's where we battle chronic disease.
Where cancer survivors restore their mind and body.
And weight loss goals become lifelong habits.
We are the why.
Good for you and good for the community.
Back to Good Morning Wilmington here in the plaza, and please do not change your channel. It is me, your man Radio Shack. I am the host for today because it is HBCU week, Black Restaurant Week. It's just a special week in the city. So we felt it was necessary to come on here this morning and bring some very special people to really get you in tune on what's going on. And in the spirit of that, our next guest is TAHIRA of Flux Creative Marketing.
Flux Creative Consulting. But it's
Flux Creative Consulting. Okay, no problem. But there it is.
Do a lot of marketing though.
There it is. First off, welcome to the plaza.
Thank
we
you so
appreciate
much.
You stopping by.
Excited to be here.
And we're going to get right into it.
Let's do it.
Right? What is Black Restaurant Week?
So Black Restaurant Week runs from September 16th to September 23rd, and it encompasses all the restaurants in the city that are Black owned, and not just restaurants, brick and mortar. We're talking caterers and food truck vendors, because the way in which we do culinary arts is different and inclusive. Some of the restaurants are takeout only, some are fine dining, some are casual dining, and some are caterers. So it includes, we have 30 participating restaurants that covers the city, and we have some events that are going to be lined up with HBCU Week. We have 3 events lined up with HBCU Week. And speaking of HBCU, I see you repping.
You see me repping?
But I am from the Mecca, Howard University.
Oh, shout out to HU. You're the real HU?
Yeah, no.
Oh, man, some Hampton people might have something to say about that. But
don't start.
They're not here, so you got it. You're the real HU. Yes, you know we have love for Howard here.
Yes, that's what's happening. So the very first special event, actually we had it on the 16th at the Baby Grand, and there was a Taste of Wilmington alongside a panel, which was the Foodways and Folklore, and conversation, a community conversation that was funded by the Delaware Humanities forum. And so our next special event is going to be, you mentioned it, R&B night, right?
R&B night at the Queen.
Right?
I will be there.
Hey, and so you got to get your ticket for that, because then we also have right outside, for the patrons of that concert, we have a Black Restaurant Week food truck vendors. We will have Aquaba Eats, we're going to have Kim Creation, and Rum Punch Restaurant. That's going to be lined up on 5th Street. So when you in between bands and you want to go run and get something to eat, it's right there. And also we have Oath 84 that's going to be doing the food service inside of the Queen as well.
Shout out to Justin.
Yeah, shout out to Justin. Justin was on our panel on Sunday. Justin was there.
Great guy.
Keem was there
Keem
from Keem's Cuisine.
Shout out Keem Cuisine.
And the Abundance Child Queen of Drop Squad Kitchen down at the riverfront.
Wow,
right?
yes.
She's 3 generations restaurant owner. You know?
Shout out to all of these Black restaurants. You know, that's one of the things when you go to these other major cities, you see restaurants where, you know, it's good to have diversity. Yes. Coming from New York originally, like
I hear it. I heard it with you and Mr. Sims.
Yeah, you heard it already, right? Damn, say what? So you have all types of, you know, variety, but to see all of these different Black restaurants opening up in the city, and not just quality, it's exciting.
It's exciting,
you know?
And it's quality on all levels, right? Fine dining is cool, but I also like to get my fish sandwich from Vern's and food truck. You know what I mean?
Don't forget my lounge at 8th. They got good fish too. Don't forget them.
Apex Lounge. I mean, y'all can shout her out. And then there's small cafes like Trociem has only been open for a few months. It's on Concord Avenue, and we have Milk and Honey, you know, right on North Market Street. And so there's lots of opportunities for us to support these businesses. And being aligned with HBCU Week, you know, we have a lot of different people in the city, right? And they get to know these businesses. But we also want the residents of this city to know that your taxpayer dollars made Black Restaurant Week happen. All right, Trippi Congo, the City Council, the Mayor's Office of Economic Development made this happen. They made the commitment, and they're making a commitment to make sure this is an annual event.
There we go.
For the folks in the back.
Yeah, annual event.
Annual event. And so we're encouraging the residents and people out of town to go as many as possible. So we have a Black Restaurant Week official dining passport. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice, sir? And so if you go and get a sticker, you go visit the restaurant or the food truck or the takeout place, and you get a sticker, if you get at least 10, you get a chance to win $25.
There you go.
$25.
That is
$25.
nice. So make sure you get your official dining passport so you get your stickers, and that's the sticker right there. Show it to them.
Yeah, so then you might wonder, I don't know if it's Black owned. You're going to see this decal in the window, and the sticker looks like this too that goes on. You're going to see the decal in the window, and to find out where all the restaurants are, you can go to wilmingtonde.gov/Black Restaurant Week. Let me do it again. That's long, right?
That's all right.
wilmingtonde.gov/Black Restaurant Week.
But you know what, though? The good thing is, because I was doing my research, when you go to de.gov, you guys have a great banner right there in the front for Black Restaurant Week. So shout out to the city. Like it's not just that it's not just the talk. They're backing it up. They're putting their resources, their funding behind it. You go to the website, you're right there.
It's right there.
You know,
I didn't even know that, so that's what's up.
Yeah, no, definitely. I had to do my research. I wanted to learn about everything going on because this is the first year.
This is the first of many.
Of many. So why this year? What?
Well, I'll leave it to Congo to talk about that, Council President Congo to talk about like why he had this idea, because this was his brainchild.
Wow. Okay.
Flux Creative Consulting just had the absolute pleasure of manifesting this idea into reality.
That's amazing. So speaking of manifesting and reality, what do you see Black Restaurant Week being in the future? How big do you see this growing? Is there anything that you feel that could be special just for Wilmington? Because we are, like everyone mentions, we're centrally located.
We are.
Right? So there's a lot of people right across the bridge in Jersey who might want to come over.
To eat tax-free.
Tax-free.
Dining.
Let's not forget
that. You know what I mean? Because I'd be sticker shocked when I go to Jersey and I'm like, wait, that's not my bill.
Yes.
There's like taxes over in Philly. And I'm Philly raised, but I live right here and been here for a long time. But what I see in the future, you know, is that not only that it drives people from out of town to visit our Black-owned restaurants and takeout services and food truck and catering, but the people right here that get an opportunity to visit these businesses, and these businesses grow and prosper. Because how many times have we gone to a place and then a year later,
it's gone.
2 years later, and it's gone. People are like, I meant to go there. Oh, I wanted to support. So in the future, I see that the residents right here in Wilmington and right across the state of Delaware, that they driving, businesses to these Black-owned businesses, and they grow and prosper, and we open more.
And we
right?
open more.
Mr. Simmons talks about, young people may not know what they want to do. Black restaurant may inspire some young person to say, hey, I see that the city, they put on for their businesses. Maybe I want to stay right here and build a business right here and a place to be somebody, Wilmington, Delaware.
Amazing. Let me get that sticker again.
Yeah,
right
the
here,
sticker.
right?
Bam! And
if you notice, if you see the sticker, you know it's black. You know it's a black restaurant.
That's right. Whether it's Caribbean or African or, blackity black.
Blackity
all that.
black.
We're here for the blackity black.
Today in the morning, right here. You heard it here live with TAHIRA.
Yes.
Good morning, Wilmington. It's blackity black. It was a pleasure.
Black.
Listen, let me say just a couple things.
Sure.
This is very impactful. First off, you didn't just go for the brick and mortars like you said, right?
That's right.
Food trucks are very trendy. It's a way for people to still get out their product without having to spend all the overhead expense. So including in them in this was a great job, number one. And number two, thank you on behalf of the community, right? Wow. And all of the Black restaurants, because as much as it might just be about the 16th to the 24th, it's not just that.
Tell them
it's about sustainability.
Exactly.
It's about you coming and maybe experiencing these restaurants for the first time.
And coming back 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 and
getting your stickers.
Yeah.
So once again,
and thriving, not just surviving. We're going to thrive.
And thrive. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to working with you in the future.
All right.
Once again, thank you to TAHIRA from Flux
Creative Consulting.
Creative Consulting. She
Shout
got
out
it
to
for
Jonathan
me.
Whitney.
Jonathan Whitney. There it is, man. You just see the energy. We are having a great time right here in the plaza. But listen, don't go anywhere. We saved the best for last. My man Trippi Congo, City Council President, is up next. Woo! So please stay tuned. See you in 2 minutes.
How did DETV start and how did you get here?
DETV started approximately 10 years ago in the basement of my home. I had an idea to show people of color doing great things, but what happened was I got to the point that I said, I'm gonna just show people all together doing great things. The motto and the moral was to bring people together instead of using media to rip people apart. And doing that, I just did a lot of hard work, a lot of free stuff, a lot of things of just showing people being themselves. I figured that media, and I saw that media wasn't doing that, so I just decided to give it a shot, not knowing that it would bring me to where I am today. I had a great journey doing it. Met some amazing people, did some amazing things, worked on some amazing projects, and with just a lot of hard work and a bunch of sacrifice, I'm here today. I done worked on everyone's campaign in the state of Delaware, and now, I'm just doing what I do and doing it with friends. My biggest accomplishment right now would have to be this, hands down, without a doubt. We want to make sure that we inform the community wholeheartedly. So again, they can have all the information that they need. For more information, you can find us at detvch.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook under DETV. Be sure to check us out. Tell me what you think.
Welcome back to Good Morning Wilmington right here in the plaza. Listen, first off, let me take a minute to stop and thank everyone. I sincerely appreciate you spending your time with me this morning. Like I said, Big Ive gave me the keys right here to DETV today, and we are spinning the block. And speaking of spinning the block, if the city of Wilmington has a native son. Officially, it would be my next guest right here, Mr. Trippi Congo. Ernest Congo II, more lovingly referred to as Trippi, is from one of the most influential black families in the history of the state. This proud DSU alumnus not only runs the family funeral business, but he's also a politician serving his community. Trippi was reelected on November 8, 2016 for a third term as city council member. That was back in 2016 because on 2020, November 4th, he was elected as the city council president. So please join me in welcoming a close friend to Wilmington and me personally, my man Trippi Congo, man. What's up, brother?
Man,
how's
good
everything?
To be here with you.
Yeah.
Man, you're doing a great job, too. I know you said I gave you the keys, but he knew what he was doing.
Don't start.
Yeah, he did, man. I mean, you're a natural at this. So I know you came on the show before on the Congo Hour, and you were co-hosting with
And you
Wayne.
wasn't there.
That's why you were there, because, you know.
Okay.
Right.
So shout out to the Congo Hour.
You did a phenomenal job. My mom was calling me like, oh, my goodness.
Don't put that out in the streets. You know I got a wife at home. Sorry. Go ahead.
See.
And this is how it is. This is what 30 years does. So I met this good brother back when I first came on campus.
I was a super senior.
It's all right. It doesn't matter. We all have our journeys.
Right,
some run sprints, some run marathons.
And I think about that a lot. You know, I was at Dell State forever. But if I weren't, like, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here right now. So that was all a part of
the master plan.
Right, it was.
It was. And I believe in that in the universe. And even this, you already see this, how this conversation is going to go, because this is how we've been forever, right? And yeah, I met you back in '92 and did not know who you were, right? Just know you was a cool dude. We was hanging out. We'd have fun and stuff till started to see that you were being treated a little differently. I said, why is his dorm room so big? Like,
that was a coincidence.
I thought, I'm sure. It looked like the lobby. Somebody said, let's go upstairs. You had pets. You had all type of things at that point. But when I saw how people started to react to you, right? The people from Delaware who knew you, how they treated you. They treated you different. I was watching from back then. But then we graduated, and then I really realized what you meant to the city, because I got to see firsthand how much you do for people. So as much as you joke around and we talk about this, your family the Congos are one of the pillars of the community. And you could have easily just been like, I'm good, I'm gonna do this. No, you picked up the baton and you ran with that. So for anybody that you've ever done anything for, thank you. You know what I mean? You've done a lot. And what does the city mean to you?
Now, the city has done a lot for my family. And I guess, well, I know just growing up, my parents always tried to give back. They always appreciated it. They always made sure that I appreciated it. And always made sure that we were just constantly just giving back to a city that's been great to us. So that's where it comes from. So shout out to my parents, honestly, just for making sure that I knew, like, my foundation, and I knew how important that it is to always give back and always support the people who have always supported us. So it comes naturally, honestly, and it's definitely a blessing.
Okay, and speaking of giving back, you are giving back, not just, financially or through, you're giving back by serving. Talk a little bit about what it means to you to be the city council president, and what are some of your responsibilities?
Well, I first got into city council almost 15 years ago because I wanted to continue to serve, like, just in another capacity. I wanted to help people who I thought needed the most help, people who I grew up around, the communities that I grew up around. So I thought that being on council would just be another way to help. So that's just been my goal, honestly. I don't think that, and when I walk away from it, like, I want to be in the same conversation with legends, honestly, people who have helped. Like, I want to be in a conversation where they say Trippi was a great dude because he helped this group of people who nobody would normally look after. And that's really my goal. And sometimes it's met with open arms, and sometimes it's met with fists.
Resistance.
Yeah, because people aren't willing to change and kind of give up that power and just help people who really need it. But I'm always going to stay true, again, to people who have helped me and my family. I've never wavered on that. And I guess that's probably a thing that I'm proudest of as far as being on council, was just that I've always, like, stood my ground on what I thought was right. Never about being friends with another politician, never about trying to not cause any controversy, because sometimes that's what's needed.
Yeah.
So, and again, as president, I think I've been able to do that a little more because more people are paying attention to what I say. As a council member, people paid attention, but now as president, people pay more attention because of the position. So again, I'm just like an advocate. honestly. And I just want when I'm done with this season of my life, I just want to be able to, I want people to know that I did it for the right reason, and it wasn't about being a politician. It was just about being a person who was from here, who grew up here, and just wants to be able to help people who need it, and people who look like me, and people who just, sometimes the government doesn't always help. So that's really my I guess my aspirations as a daily council person.
Well, once again, thank you on behalf of the community. And I think what happens is, and I mentioned earlier when I was talking to Dawayne, some people are just chosen, right, to do certain things. Because if you'd have told me 30 years ago that we would be sitting here right now and using to be city council president, I would have said, listen, slow down.
Me and you both.
Whatever you're doing, just slow down. You're doing too much of it, right? But you're here because, you know, you're a natural leader, right? And it's genuine for you. Right? So all the years I've known you, and the thing is, when people do things, you can tell when certain people do things because they have a goal or they're on a mission, right? Like all of a sudden during COVID, now America realized that black businesses and HBCUs needed more funding. No, that's always been the case, right? So we knew that this was just kind of like a plan for them, but with you is different. You've been this way from day one. I remember you, before I knew anything about you, oh, such and such doesn't have money to go home. You sending people home and stuff. And I'm like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? So the thing is, the reason why it chose you is because since that is genuine for you, the people see it, right? You've done this forever. And I don't know, that's why when I'm joking, and we joke, but native son is who you are.
That's a good feeling, honestly. Just knowing that, like, the path hasn't always been straight for me as a politician. Like, I've messed up, I've done some crazy things, but people, throughout all of that, people know me, and they know why I'm here, and they know what I'm trying to do. So they've always still just given me an opportunity to continue to serve. And that, like you said, that's a really good feeling. I never thought about it as like a native son. But it's almost like, you know, a mother knows her child. When a child does something crazy, it's still her child, and she's still going to make sure that she's nurturing that child and keeping that child on the right path. And I think that's what the city of Wilmington has done for me.
Wow, that's a dope analogy. So speaking of that, man, before we get up out of here, let's talk about how this week in particular, right? First off, Black Restaurant Week is your baby.
Yes.
Can you please let us know how all of that came about?
Oh man, people keep asking me that, and I think it's like a accumulation of a couple things. I remember I got just always seeing, you know, Restaurant Week happening in the city of Wilmington, and us never being included. And I remember it's like seeing billboards and just thinking, like, where are the black restaurants in this? And I remember having a conversation with Justin from Oath 84, and he was telling me his story and how he got started. And I didn't know. He used to work with Comcast Cable. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I don't.
But he was in my parents' house one day installing cable in their house. And he said he had a conversation with my dad that he was going to go to go to culinary school, and he was going to be a chef. And he said my dad gave him all this great advice. And when I went into Oath 84 for the first time, he said, Trippi, man, you got to get your dad in here because I want him to see, you know, how he helped me bring my dream to reality. And I was like, man, I got to make sure that this dude is successful, because you go in there and the food is great, the atmosphere is great, but I got to make sure that everyone in this community knows about Justin and about other black-owned restaurants here in the city. So it just hit me. I was like, we should have a Black Restaurant Week. I ran it through some people at at council, and they were like, let's do it. And it's been a great time, and I can't take the credit for making it happen. It was my idea, but there have been so many people who have.
I'm on the email, so I know you can't take the credit.
Who have made it happen. But it's just, I'm really looking forward to it being even bigger next year and more participation. But you know, I vowed to go out to a black restaurant every day this week. Last night we went to Lounge on the 8th.
There you
Lounge
go.
on 8th.
Yep.
Had dinner there, trying to figure out where we're gonna go tonight. We'll probably go to like a lunch spot tonight. But I definitely want to make sure that we are just, you know, highlighting black-owned restaurants, because that's necessary. I mean, these guys and these ladies have gone out and sometimes have had to use their own resources and have had to just not have the kind of access that white restaurants always have. So I just wanted to make sure that the government is supporting their efforts, and that even more importantly, that the people white, black, Hispanic, or going to these black restaurants to making sure that they're successful. Because they're hiring people who may not always be hired at other establishments. They're giving people who may have a criminal background, a chance to to work and to provide for their family. So it's more than just the food for me. I mean, the food is an important part of it, but what black restaurants mean to the city of Wilmington is so much more than food. And I just wanted to be able to make sure that we are highlighting those restaurants this week.
Okay. And thank you for bringing this to life, right? Because a lot of times I know you can have an idea, right? And you need the right people behind it. So once again, just shout out to some of the people who are making this happen.
Shout out to Kendra on City Council.
First off, we already met TAHIRA.
TAHIRA and everybody at Flux Consulting for the job, the awesome job they did, just making sure that everybody is aware of Black Restaurant Week. Shout out to Kendra from City Council. She was really the engine behind it. She made sure that everybody was on the same page. All of my colleagues on council who were definitely on board, the administration too. They were on board. They made sure that they provided the finances to make sure that Flux was paid and that Black Restaurant Week happened. So there have been so many people who have just made it happen. So I just want to shout out everybody who's gone to the Black restaurants this week. Shout out to Ashley.
Yes. So
Ashley Christopher.
Yes, there you go.
I know your last name, Ashley.
Oh, he's
your
gonna
boy
do
right
that.
here.
He is so.
Ashley
I
Cooper.
knew he was gonna do that. Listen,
Cooper.
Come on, man. He's gonna bring that back. This is why you can't bring him on. So first off, since we're gonna go there, he's gonna try to have this personal one-on-one conversation. There's too many people watching right now for you to get one-on-one. But since you've segued
and I guess
into
I always
that,
start like when you're on a talk show and it's called Good Morning Wilmington.
all
You
right,
have these cups.
You gotta keep. You see how the ADHD kicks in. Listen,
and there's nothing in the cup now. No. Some tea. Look at this. Look what I can do right now.
Can you please,
this is crazy.
Trippi,
Ivan,
since you mentioned,
I know you gave Shaq the keys, but he needs a key to the refrigerator.
To the vending machine,
so I can have some water, some tea, some coffee.
Oh my gosh! This is why you cannot bring certain people onto the show, man.
This is just a prop.
No, this is just to make sure you go to a black restaurant and get something to drink right after this.
That's what it is.
You like that one?
Oh, that was good.
So since you mentioned Ashley Christopher,
yes.
Okay, talk about what you being a proud, because first off, Del State, right? You and I have done with our man SWAT, have done Del State Homecoming now for a good almost 10 years strong, right? Where we have our day parties on campus, right? All you can eat food, drinks, anything that you could think of, all free. And we've done that. We've never charged anybody for that, right? Because we understood the importance of carrying on our whole HBCU culture.
Right.
That black college experience meant a lot to us. You experienced it, we know, right? Several times, right? So, but talk about what HBCU Week, to see this now, the energy that's being given to HBCUs as a whole. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I can remember going to the college fair for the first time and not really knowing what to expect, and going into that 76ers field house and just seeing the thousands of children there, just excited about not only going to college, but going to a black college, and a college, and Del State was representing, and my heart is always going to be, I'm always going to be a Hornet. My dad was a Hornet, my son's a Hornet now, I have so many aunts and cousins who are Hornets. But just knowing that black kids are being made aware, because when I was growing up, I always wanted to go to a HBCU, but it was never the thing to do.
It wasn't trendy.
It wasn't trendy. But now, man, just knowing how it's the right thing to do. It's cool. Everybody's looking to go to HBCU. That's their first option now. And what Ashley and her team have been able to do is just amazing. And I want to thank them for allowing Black Restaurant Week to be affiliated with HBCU Week, because they're having black-owned food trucks at their events. And we probably can't talk about. We don't have enough time to talk about the HBCU experience that I have.
But I would like to bring you back, right?
Okay.
And we can experience that although we can't talk about it. This Sunday is Sold Out Sundays, once again at the Legacy Center.
Oh yeah, you definitely
right. So we're gonna have to have a good time. That's gonna be the whole HBCU experience for everybody who's at a HBCU back in the 90s, to know that you're gonna come out, sing, have a good time. That's what we're doing. If you just want to sit around and talk to the people you already know, this is not the event for you.
Not at
We're
all.
doing it throwback, good vibration, good energy. And speaking of good vibrations and energy, thank you, my brother, for coming on the show. I want to thank Mr. Dawayne Sims. I want to thank TAHIRA from Flux Creative, just everyone who made today possible. And I especially want to thank you for spending your time with me. You could have been anywhere else. Once again, it is HBCU week. It is Black Restaurant Week. Please make sure that you support these movements. If you see this guy out here, please give him something to drink because he's thirsty. And once again, much love and respect, more life until the next time I see you. It's your man, Radio Shack. I'm out. Peace.